I want to start off by saying thank you, God. This is always the way I start my videos. I need to be thankful for what I can be thankful for, understanding that things are bad. As a Tiger Angel, one thing I gotta start off by also saying is bring up the fact that, as you know, if you're watching my videos, that my video is about what's happened to me as a Tiger individual. But at this point, I think everything I've said has been said many times by me. And now I use making these videos as a way to kind of fight back the way I've been manipulated. It is really a brainwashing program that is not only brainwashing you using like old, textbook like tactics, where they try to even utilize fear tactics. But most importantly, what's really happening here that is really doing the job of rewiring me is just advanced technology that we all know has this capability to do so much to your brain. And like many have said, it's like MK Ultra on steroid, MK Ultra with extremely advancement of technology that can no longer relies on this textbook like brainwashing, but utilizing technology that literally can capture your brain signals and put thoughts back in your brain the way they designed them to be created, experiences consisting of emotions and other disgusting things that they can do to you. Clearly, by now we all know that Tiger individuals were being utilized as guinea pigs, but not for good things. They are really utilizing us to, seems like, to perfect the weapon system more than anything. Clearly, this technology can be utilized for good, but onto us is utilized to torment us and to appear to utilize this technology as a weapon system. And I understand that, and I know that they're doing everything possible to break me down psychologically. And this is clearly a governmental program. The clowns that surround you, try to gaslight you, is amazing. They utilize this kind of like gaslighting tactic. I'm trying to use the word, but they're making me blank out the word I'm trying to use. But they use these facades to try to get you to break down and internalize this manipulation. Right? Whatever is presented to you, please understand who you're seeing is not who's responsible for what's happening to you. They're just participants. A lot of them are nothings. And wherever you go, you'll have these people all around you partake, involving themselves in trying to gaslight you. Every time they do this thing, for me, they say things like, "Oh, you're a con artist. You're such a con." It's funny. And I'm like, "Oh wow!" And you guys are telling the truth, and not like it's almost comical how childlike they want you to be, and how they gaslight you. A lot of these perps they utilize, I think it's a good way to recruit these clowns that are childlike. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna make you homeless. Make me homeless." Wanting me to think that, oh, it's because of this nobodies that I'm homeless, instead of this program led by governmental entities. Like, this is because of this group of people. It is so this childlike individual, but I get why they want to utilize people like that, because they truly have to sell this thing as anything but a massive government doing that to you. They need to make you believe that. They're professional clowns. They're like little retards of all level. I'm going to show you some of this pathetic low life. And I really think they're selling this. That's why, sometimes I have I do wear a body cam. Everywhere I go, I will always wear a body cam to see the performance in real time, their behavior in real time, to get you to subscribe to whatever stupidity. And to see that on camera, it's like, can you imagine somebody like you try to make me subscribe to this thing? Look at what you look. Look how sketchy you even look like. Look how sketchy you look like. You don't even know what you look like doing that. And so it's important for me to stay in tune with reality because there's a lot of effort to push you into insanity, obviously. But subscribing to the stories, and not even stories, to the what they want to paint themselves as. And so when I make these videos at these points, it's no longer about others watching what's happened to me, because all the videos have been made, and I've said everything I need to say, and today is just a repetitive tactic of what they do. It's brainwashing, and they do the things over and over and over and over to break you, to make you internalize this thing. It's disturbing, it's tormenting, but that's what they do. So I view these clowns for the low life that they are, the nothing that they are, involved in something where even babies are suffering, where children are suffering, and I put that in their faces. So when they come and play that little fantasized reality, I'm like, you're not gonna disorient me to the point where you paint yourself as those who protect children. You bunch of low life trash. They will never cover that up. They will have the shame of what they're part of on them. I don't care if they're less shameful, I don't care. But they'll have that accountability onto them. For all the babies suffering this program, you are not going to also present yourself as a protector of babies. Even though you're doing that to gaslight me, to make me internalize this manipulation. And I understand why they utilize these clowns. And I love to put that in their faces. That what's going to happen to me is going to happen to me because I am a test subject like many others, inclusive of even children, who are being utilized in these disturbing ways to advance this technology, which these governmental entities are doing. That's this to us. The little clowns and losers they contract to partake in this, they're that. Nothing. Very insignificant in regard to what's happening to you. They can be replaced tomorrow, you won't even notice. They're a bunch of trash who wanted to recreate reality where all the sexual tortures, all the cooking out people with microwave technology, all the agonies supposed to be erased because this trash us. It's been so easy to stay in tune with the reality that these people deserve so much horror for what they're part of, for the atrocious things they participate. Some in the case try to negate what they're part of. They have empowered some of the losers of the losers. And it feels so easy and honorable. Such an easy way to maintain dignity and honor. Listen, my videos are not here to preach religion, but it makes it easier to become more religious. I'm telling you, the best part is to see who can participate in that. It's just biblical almost. It's like this facilitate evil can make anybody participate. And you see that. And the weakest find themselves the most empowered by this. I noticed it. And I'm not talking about weak physically. I'm talking about mentally. People who are craving some kind of empowerment. You see them being the first one to feel so empowered. When you when you see them, it's like, oh, I get it. This makes you feel empowered. They have this like complex of like thinking they're gods when they love nothing, and they want me to perceive them as that. It's like you're just a little bottom feeder. That's why you like. In some cases, they're like, oh, make me homeless. I'm like, make you. You are not even the one making me homeless. You're just part of the program that makes even women with children homeless. But you're gonna be accountable for what you're part of, not what you fantasize this was. Every time I step out of here, go out or whatnot, I know what to expect. I have my body cam, and you see all these clowns doing their best to recreate reality in a way where they're not the one who deserved all these atrocious things they do to us, but you're the one deserving of that. First of all, I will never internalize this manipulation. It doesn't take a genius to clearly see that, well, in this program, one thing they do is they psychologically torture you by manipulating your brain. It's a program where some of the most advanced technology can literally hack your neural network and recreate or rewire you in ways that's just not you authentically, making you experience things that are degrading. And they can make you experience all kind of emotion whenever they want. And not only that, they can implant thoughts. And then once they implant these thoughts and it's make you experience these emotions, the job of these clowns around you are supposed to gaslight you. And they say anything in whatever ways to try to make you internalize this. And they utilize these people who have no shame of sounding retarded, because their job is truly to brainwash you. For example, when one of these classes, oh, you're no longer thinking that I'm going to accept this manipulation. And they say that like it's going to be, you're going to subscribe to this target video. These people have no shame. When I mean no shame, it's like they don't care if they sound retarded. That's why I like to say out loud what they say to me via V2K, because I deal with voice to skull and synthetic telepathy. Then when you see what kind of clown, I mean, we're talking about loserness of, I don't know if this, I wish I could show what some of this clown look like. Some next door loser, some retard saying some most disgusting things, and I'll show what they do and then what is try to gaslight you into accepting these things. With the way they want me to rationalize these things, that they actually manipulate me to experience. You have to be strong, because these gaslighters, just like gaslighting is, can see the most idiotic thing in the smartest way, wanting you to accept this. And it's so obvious. These people who involved in even microwaving children want you to convince you in this retarded way. It's like, go F yourself, you bunch of lowlife, bunch of trash. For all the children and women suffering this problem, I'm not gonna dumb myself down to your fucking retarded level, so you can paint yourself in this way. You disgusting, nasty lowlife. And they want to compensate by how they're going to torture me. It's like, oh, they're going to castrate you. It's like, I'm going to be castrated. I'm going to be burned by people who torture children, desperately needing me to accept these things. You delusional trash. They wanted to compensate the obviousness of what they do to women and children and how they rewire people's brain, but torturing me in ways that's supposed to be like, oh, you're going to see how torturous it is going to be. And what does this shit do? Does it make you look like you don't torture children anymore? Clown ass. Does it make you guys look like you don't manipulate brains? Some first-class losers. Some retards. That just empowered by feeling special, by being able to manipulate human beings. You just like to play with people like they're a toy. You know, no justice seekers. You're some trashy lowlife, rewarding people in these disgusting ways and then painting themselves as protectors of women and children. Nasty lowlife. And it feels okay. It feels good to be able to say that over and over and over. These clowns are cursed. They'll get theirs. Let them get lost in these disgusting things and find empowerment. That it's just a matter of time. Some of them have already got a taste of what reality is going to do to them. And I love to put that in their face. First of all, I also want to thank those people who on a daily basis have helped the community of Target Individual. Listen, testimonials at this point probably won't change what's going to happen to us. And there's people who do more than just testify. They are exposing it in better ways. And this documentary that came out on May 5th, that's just kind of collected the different testimonials and at the same time put things together in ways that is digestible for people who are not Target Individual. It doesn't take a genius that clearly they torture people psychologically by manipulating the brain. And these losers hate that. Hate that. No, there's no way to make it look like that we're not forcing people to have this experience, these emotions, these thoughts, to drop people into insanity. There's been enough mass shooters. There's been enough testimonials. There's been, not too long ago, I was walking neighbors partake in this. One thing you're gonna hear is like neighbors involve themselves, they act in this theatrical way, and this is why over and over you hear things where a target individual ends up killing a neighbor. A target individual, and it's always the same thing. The last one I think that's publicized, that was this James Gleason in Kentucky killed a next door neighbor in October of last year. The one that was the most, I think, mentioned is the guy Stephen Marlowe, who he wrote a whole manifesto, pre-recorded video, and then ended up killing 4 of his neighbors, from a 15-year-old to 82-year-old. And me stepping outside and see this trash in front of me, he was supposed to be like, oh no, we're doing that for our children, when in reality they participated in this program, and even having this disgusting teen trash involve themselves in this, thinking that they're heroes in the program where babies are suffering. And they're supposed to be like, oh no, we're gonna have our children play like they're being victimized by you. It's like, you trash, you low life. Look at the mother of the year. When children are being tortured, niños are being tortured, low life like you are supposed to counter that, try to negate niños being tortured. As I'm saying that, they're doing things to my brain. I will not allow them to live this fantasy, whatever insanity I deal with. I will not allow them to live in this fantasized reality where they have fun torturing people, manipulating people like toys. In the program, even children are being tortured, and recreate this whole thing as if they're protecting kids. Never. Just have fun enjoying it, playing God, but you're going to be accountable for what you're part of. And when you face each other, know that I'm facing somebody I know is involved in something where not only they torture people by manipulating their brain in this way, but babies are suffering and they're having fun to be involved in this, and then painting themselves as children protectors. Now, I was stepping outside, and they really are damaging me. Oh, my brain is so fatigued, but they are really. I'm feeling extreme damage in my brain. When I stepped outside and went out on Saturday, I could feel my brain was so damaged. I almost felt like I was about to have a seizure or pass out or faint. And it started off, first of all, with feeling pain in my gut area, or my liver area. I almost feel like I was slowly blinding on the left eye. And they did that because what I've noticed is it's hard right now to maintain the psyop that, oh, we're just protecting children and women, when so many are saying everything that's been said before. And it was well put together in this documentary released in May 5th. And I love this clown's like, oh, you're such a con man. It's like, yeah, I'm such a con man. I made people make a whole documentary about this technology, this program that is torturing men, women, and children, but is utilized in ways that rewires people's brain in degrading ways. Testimonials of other target individuals in this documentary say the same thing that I've been saying for years. And it's been disvalidated, which I'm gonna always put that in their faces. I'm such a clown, bunch of clown. And I was, they didn't want me to, because when I go out, I listen to all of that in front of the perps who are supposed to repaint reality. But I was so sick, or I feel so weak, I didn't have the strength to just have this back and forth, or at least put that in their faces. I was like, I don't have the energy. And they would try to make me feel guilty about, like, oh, Brittany, and they're talking about date rape and this and that. I'm like, what? One thing is clear in this program. One common way they torture men and women, and even children, is harming genitals. Sexual torture is utilized as a key tool to break down the target individual. Torturing women in so many ways, utilizing sexual torture. There is even a lot of cases of women saying that they spike their drink, they drug them, they do this, they poison them. Women waking up in different circumstances, feeling bruised, bruised and in pain. Then with me, wanting to be like, oh no, we're doing it for, and I think at that time, Brittany, I was like, what? You know, this Brittany, you've seen pictures of her. I was like, oh, you see this woman? You think I'm gonna let you think that you're involved in a program where thousands, or who knows, maybe millions of women are being tortured? Some of them, a lot of them actually in sexual matter. And you care about it? Go F yourself. A bunch of trash who are involved in something where so many women are being tortured in atrocious way, inclusive of sexual. Clown. And by the way, with me, you think that the way they would try to make this make it pass in this way is because they're gender. They're using gender in a lot of cases just to make me accept of this. Like, your gender does not make you able to cover what you're part of. You don't care about Brittany because you are a woman. Because if you are a woman who care about Brittany, you will not be involved in a program where thousands of women, or maybe millions of women, are being tortured and raped. Brittany is happy living her life, and I made sure to connect with her, to make sure that I'll make sure that, yeah, how's your life, Brittany? Of course, life is okay, happy. But look at the faces of these women who are getting cooked. You think I'm going to allow you to be involved in that and be like, oh, I love this, it's going to cover up the torture of women? Who are you? If that makes me a genius, a wise person, I will always be. And unfortunately, this corny woman, I'll never be able to. But they even got like a picture of it. It's so disgusting. It's like, you don't even care. You really don't give a damn about them. She was a target individual. Her and her whole family would be cooked up, destroyed, and probably sexually tortured. Disgusting low life. So I was walking around, they were trying to bring that up, and then there's I go to a bar and I could hear background somebody, oh, I was in not too long ago, I was doing labor and whatnot. I was in labor, like giving birth. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, first of all, I was like, man, you're laboring now, you're drinking? It's like, how long ago is that? I was like, oh. And then she said something about baby. And when she said baby, they started giving me stimulation. Oh. And they're like, oh, see, we'll protect that baby. This is trash ass. We all know that this technology makes them feel like gods because they can control human beings by rewiring our thoughts and brains in such degrading ways. We're like puppets. And they utilize some clowns to try to gaslight you to think they're otherwise. And I couldn't even, I was like, trash, I just don't have the energy. Even me making this video right now is taking a lot more, a lot of the energy. It's because they really are making me really sick. And I know my health is super compromised, and it's just, I think they're prolonging my life, to be honest. And I don't want to be sad in the sense of like sounding sad. I don't care about dying. Death comes to all of us. I'm just thankful that while I was alive, I was able to see things for what they are. And thank God I didn't live like this low life. Because to be involved in this program seems to be very easy. A program that tortures, abuses, torments, even children. And even children can let me just say this, even non-adults can participate in that, because I don't want to humanize them. They're not human to me. They're prideful negators of sufferings of children. They know I hate them for what they try to cover up. They know my hatred is strong. So I'm so thankful that I was not one of these bottom feeders here. Some weirdo retard like, oh my gosh, some of them look like they're mentally challenged, trying to gaslight you. I'm so thankful. Now my mind is no longer mine. It's for them to play with, and then try to get to me, to make me internalize this nastiness. And I put that in their faces, like, you will never make me internalize this manipulation. Whatever ways you try to make me rationalize this manipulation, as if it's not them playing my brain to make me experience that. It's funny to see even coworkers try to gaslight me. Then you look at the incompetency that comes from them just focusing so much in my gaslighting that they even forget how to work. And I put that in their face. This trash out the disgusting low life. To even find out that in this documentary, there was mentioned that Epstein interest in this kind of technology, wanting to realize this technology that can remove short-term memories on the 11-year-old. I'm just like, it always goes back to the nastiness and atrociousness of these people. These people really sold their soul to feel a bit like gods. They're little nothings too. And they failed at gaslighting me. It's like some trash ass. Just compromised to the point where now you sold soul to pedophiles. And you leave life rewind people's brain like that to push them into sanity, and thought that people were not going to notice, oh, I'm being manipulated. Of course, everybody knows we're being manipulated. Thinking they can compensate with the obvious manipulation of the mind is by torturing people. And they tell me my nose is going to be removed. It's like, whatever, it's going to be cut up. And the theatricalness of how you're going to compensate for how obvious you manipulate my brain, it's not going to work. I'm saying that now, and I'm going to say that until I can't. They wanted to torture me. You know, I go to the office, they even have like nose thing, because they tell me they're going to make me have leprosy and this and that. Like, before that day come, know that I will never allow you to escape that. You think because you have tortured me in certain ways, that will internalize this manipulation, that I will not see you for the trash involved in the program where babies are suffering and being tortured and cooked. You failed. Now you just try to compensate for the level of atrociousness that you're part of. I was watching this streamer, ex-fighter. He's just like a big kid in his 40s, and he's quite like, let's just say, he does things, you know, in the non-PC way. And somebody was talking about, oh man, you always like do this groping and this and that, you know. I'm talking about rampage instruction. It's like he does all these kind of things, and they're trying to make me think about, remember when you were in the nightclub, you did this, and I'm like, you know, you cook. Let me just say this better. They are microwaving women's private parts, genitals of women. Listen, if you're gonna hear a target individual who's a female gender target individual, she's it's a high likelihood that she's going to mention that some of the torture and the pain she receive is going to be consisting of sexual torture. They burn genitals of women, give them all kind of pain, and it's a pattern. It's just a trend. It's like one of their go-to tactic. I mean, women complain of being electrocuted in the rectum and the genitals, getting burned in the genital, cooked, cut inside, all kind of pain, and feel like they're getting they're getting raped, and they're like professional rapists. It's like they're raping for science. It's like advanced level of, it's so disgusting. Then listen to this trash, try to make me feel guilty of me at the nightclub touching when I'm like in my late teen, early 20s, while these people are torturing women sexually. They're insane. For what makes them insane is not that they're insane because they're insane thinking that they're gonna cover up how they torture women in this sexual way and get away with it and still paint themselves as protectors and try to make me feel guilty and vilify me as the trash sexually torturing women and call that being mean. It will never work. You know that I will not allow this entitlement that you can be involved in something where women are being sexually tortured in this diabolical way and try to vilify me at a nightclub when you are here cooking women like that. sexually torturing them, sexually assaulting them, to the point some of these women cannot even use the restroom due to the pain they're getting. 70-year-old woman getting sexually violated for 2 hours using this technology. Some women saying I can't even exercise in this because of the sexual torture. Nasty low life. Talk about sexual assault when they are cooking women like that. Sexual assault when they came torture women sexually like that, to the point that they can't even use the restroom. And be like, yeah, no, but that was sexual assault. So what is this here that you do to women when you electrocute the rectum? That's sexual torture. And you think that you can be involved in this horror, this atrociousness, and talk about me at a nightclub? You're disgusting, entitled fuck. For all the women suffering in agony because of these sexual assaults and tortures, you will never live your fantasy. You'll be accountable for what you're part of. For those who's watching, I know so many women are suffering in these ways. You know what they're doing. You know what you're part of. And you know sexual torture is a tactical way of breaking down a lot of target majority, inclusive a lot of women, thousands, maybe millions. And so I refuse to let this low life live that fantasy. And I'll be the wise one who like, okay, so you involved in a program where this is happening to women's private parts, rectum. You would try to bring me at a nightclub and whatever mature, stupid thing I did in nightclub while you're here fucking burning women's genitals? Not gonna happen. There's too much sufferance. You're not gonna be in some kind of crime against humanity where some of the crime consists of sexual torture. And tell me, oh, you're just so insane. It's like, yeah, you deserve to die for your insanity. Now, the mental manipulations are what that just really breaks me down. You know, they do these disturbing experiences. I just saw this, and for me, I've been very, very transparent in regard to the tormenting psychological. They make me have these experiences, sexual stimulations, even thoughts. I even try to suggest action. Like, it's like they want me to like grab myself or do something, and they play with my brain in ways that is manipulating my brain. And then try to gaslight me. I just saw this adorable child with the mother. Even the mother tried to mess with me because she kind of looked young. But this baby here, in her pampers, they started giving me stimulation. She whole pampers started to make me imagine this kid in a sexual way. You know what this trash says? Oh, jerk session. Why? Because this nasty manipulation they forced me to have today. The way they want me to accept this manipulation as if they're not manipulating me. It's by saying, remember when you were a child. And I want to put that in their faces because these clowns, they use these retards to be gaslighters. I'm sorry for using the word retard, but I don't know what else to describe them. They really want to override rationality. And they like try to make me think, no. What is happening here is we're just utilizing what your brain has this trash asset. And this is even not even what really, that's not even how my brain went when I was a child. But they're trying to bring up this act of a child, something I did to myself as a kid. So today when I see these children, they force me to get these stimulation sensations like now we're matching, drug sessions are trashers. They torture children. These people, by the way, this is who's doing this research, can do this kind of atrocious thing where children are in agony like that, right? And then manipulate your brain and want you to be like, no, we are not manipulating your brain. We just pairing your brain to you as a child. And today when you see these children, this baby, like this adorable child here, in her pampers, we're just matching Yes, it's mean. Us who can be this mean to children. Does it not make sense that we will not manipulate you like that? These clowns. And the worst part is, with this level of validation,
you just start to lose your grasp on what's going on. Ultimately, if you can think of the darkest things that you could say to somebody, something that you would never say to somebody, those are the sorts of things that it uses to destroy you.
At first, they were saying a lot of homosexual things to me. Once that really didn't fly, as far as, getting me mad or whatever, they switched over to talking a lot about pedophilia, and that was happening a lot.
Automated torture, 24/7, 365. You have to understand that it's just a computer. Whatever you don't like, it will continue doing.
It was mocking, deriding, and then they can suggest thoughts and actions and emotions. About 6 months of straight-on torture dragged me to the absolute brinks of sanity.
V2K exploits fears, traumas, insecurities. It deceives and manipulates.
80% of the time now it is negative, extremely negative, horrific. But then they can elicit strong emotional reactions on people, and they can do it with whatever emotion.
These could be regularly appearing subtle thoughts telling you to kill yourself. Victims also report thoughts and dreams being sent into their head daily. The thoughts are often indistinguishable from your own, but are obvious because they seem out of place compared to your usual thoughts. These could be regularly appearing subtle thoughts telling you to kill yourself or to hurt people.
They can elicit strong emotional reactions on people, and they can do it with whatever emotion. We can turn you on right now. We can make you angry. We can make you sad, and they would do it. It was like they press a button, and it just went, and it just would just go away, and I just felt like totally normal.
The dreams are noticeably different from ordinary dreams in that they are often vulgar or include some kind of triple and less abstract.
I was aware for a while that my dreams were being influenced. It's very, very clear that they're using.
But it was like they press a button right now. We can make with whatever emotion. We can turn you on right now. We can make you angry. We can make you sad, and they would do it. It was like they press a button and it.
You get how obvious these people are manipulative. This is the Dystopia documentary that came out in May 5th. This is a target visual describing the way they're being tortured psychologically. I'm such a calm. This is a level of validation. I have no idea who this person is, except that it's a target visual describing what's happening to them. You see the similarities here? To hear these clowns like, no, you're just a con. Yeah, no, it's normal what you did as a child. No, this clown's involved in this. And, this woman said something about, V2K, which I deal with V2K and synthetic telepathy. Utilize deception, this and that, insecurity. And they're like, oh, that's your insecurity of what? No. That's the way you try to deceive me into internalizing this nasty manipulation. This thing, my insecurity, me as a child, what if? Clown. Wanting me to accept this manipulation by rationalizing, no, but remember, and they were creating these mental battles, which I'm not going to subscribe to. Because like, no, but the kid, when you were a kid, it was all of this, and you are forcing me to experience things that I'll never experience as a child. Or let me just say this better. You're forcing me to make me experience things that you designed for me to experience, and then try to make me rationalize by deceiving me in this retarded way that we're just sparing you as a child. What the fuck? And they use these clowns, and they really just like almost like tantrum, like where it's like, no, it's you. Is it normal to be involved in something where children are tortured like that? You piece of lowlife. You know what's normal? This is what's normal, you fucking lowlife. This is the normal things they want me to let that. This is the normal things for them. Let's send these clowns. I got them. I'll be their genius. Clowns want to normalize torturing children, but to want me to be like, hey, is it normal that a child can do something stupid like that at age? Yes. You know what's not normal? Making children suffer like this. And what seems normal to them is to be involved in a program where they torture you psychologically in this degrading way. You see how you start mentioning pedophilia? Did I force this person to say this? Is it not weird that he brought that up? Is it just another coincidence here? Or is it like a pattern of what they do to break people down? And they do things that will break you down psychologically over and over and over. You tell me people involved in something where children suffering like this want me to think that my brain is just being tracked back to me as a child. And they're not doing the pedophilia things they do to people to break them psychologically. Bunch of clowns. Then this trash like a jerk session. And they start making me imagine things like this disgusting life. This child, this baby. So when I see this low life, it's like a bunch of low life trash involved in this. Remember that you're never gonna lose reality of what you're part of. This is who's talking about jerk sessions. Involved with babies tortured, and then some of the opportunities involved in this try to gaslight me. It's okay. God give me strength for the tortures and the things they're gonna put me through in order to compensate for the obviousness of what this is about and what they do to even children. Give me strength. But thank God that I didn't live life like this life, and I know things gonna be handled the right way when times come for them. Tomorrow, again, we just stay strong.